For dinner. It seems like you get light. You get light in your room, but do you not see the outside, the sun set?
Yeah, I keep the blinds closed, so
Oh,
I don't see it.
okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see it. I'll be there in 3 weeks. So I'll get a because you've switched
Great,
rooms since I last saw you over winter.
great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know your new setup, but all I know is Jay. It's a one hell of a hospital. You're very lucky to be there.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I and having traveled to some spotty places on our planet and seen some really awful places to age, right? You're pretty fortunate to be in a lovely hospital like this.
yeah, it's better than nothing for sure.
that's that's my Buddhist uncle for you, yeah, for sure. So yeah, so I'm trying. It's just I think a lot of factors are coming into play with the decrease in students, online students. I think it's the economy where we're at currently, so lack of money. It's competition online to get the students right to where the teachers are disrespected, and then also I think it's artificial intelligence too, where all of these very creative online learning, language learning programs are almost as good as live teachers, right, on the internet. The only thing that's keeping, professors in high school and live teachers in business is because parents, are working and it's almost a daycare, right? So they can work and then they want their kids to fuck off when to college, right? So it's that's
Yeah,
so it's tough. I'm just gonna I'm trying to eke through just so I can get set up right come fall. But it was one hell of a ride for 3 years. Solely teaching online because the demand was so prevalent, right? Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to ask you how are you feeling today? Yesterday you said you were in an ebb.
well, how was I yesterday?
You said I understood that. That was a very interesting adjective, descriptive adjective. You said you were in an
I
ebb.
don't know. I go up in the day, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to talk about do you know anything about Munchausen syndrome?
What about money?
Not money. Well, I could use some money if you got it. I said Munchausen syndrome. I just messaged you.
Unfortunately, no. The federal FIRS calls me, and I can't use anything.
Not money. God damn it, Jay. I think I'll be all right. I said Munchausen syndrome. The syndrome
Oh,
where
I really don't know at the moment, but I don't have a place anymore.
no, Jay,
You
I'm
know,
I again, Uncle, I love you. I am not. I'm talking about the syndrome called Munchausen. I just messaged
I
you.
have no idea about that.
Okay. Well,
You'll
Munchausen's
have to
well
check that out.
Munchausen syndrome is supposedly I think I'm talking into the camera here for you too here. So Munchausen syndrome is supposedly that syndrome where you constantly feel like something is wrong with you, that you're sick because you want empathy or sympathy. You've never heard of this before?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm writing that's a chapter. I'll send this to you when you're done about your younger sister Carrie because I think after menopause this was yet another one of her undiagnosed mental issues was that she always thought she was sick or that something was wrong with her to either elicit sympathy, something. I don't. Who knows? She was a basket of craziness. But yeah, I sent this to you on your phone. So, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I think I asked you this, and it comes back into my head. What's your earliest recollection of your life? Do you have an early memory, your first recollection of life?
Well, as a matter of fact, you never do till you're about three. You do, but it wasn't there. I mean, because when you're three, you have none.
Right.
You know. So
So, but
I
but
don't remember.
you can't right now in your lovely 82-year-old brain, you can't remember your first memory, your first recollection of life.
Not really. Not no.
Okay. What do you when you do you I mean, this is the Buddhist way not to really have any regrets or look back or what have you. But while you've been in bed while you've been in bed now for 3 years, you've had a lot of time to think. What do you think? What do you think about most? Do you think I mean, you are a thinker, but it's like the Buddhist way I understand. I mean, what do you ponder about most while you've been in bed for 3 years, JB?
Well, most of it I think about myself, and it turns out that most of the way in which I think is Buddhist. You know.
Well, explain that. What do you mean? How so?
Well, I'm looking at the way in which I work is Buddhist, not us crunchy, not crush, not crunch, crunchy, not Hindus.
Yeah.
But I don't turn to the Buddhist by itself.
Right. All right. Yeah. Where do you spend most of your time online on the internet? Are you watching YouTube Buddhist videos and some Buddhist readings? Where
Not
do you,
really, no.
so
Well, there's several different ways, and many of them are pretty bad. There's some that are very high level, and some are just like anybody. So I mostly I just think my own thoughts.
you think of your own thoughts? Okay. All right. But I mean, you do spend time. You have the television, you've got the internet, which is a great, to me, it's been a great thing over the last 20 some odd years. So when you have control of like the internet, which has a vast array of more information, whether it's good or bad, where do you spend most of your time? I've been sending you a lot of Chinese news shit because I thought that would be interesting for you, but where do you spend do you spend time on one thing, or is that the speed reading that you used to do where you're just now like the young kids and you just move on, keep moving on?
Um, I read a lot of different stuff. So it depends. Some I read well. Sometimes I read speed.
Do you watch content? Do you watch videos like YouTube videos of lectures or professors or debates or
Not not too often though.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting the whole book game. I mean, there's still books being published, but I think, bookstores are a dinosaur. You're rare. I would have to look up in Chicago how many actual bookstores there are left, right? Actual physical books. I just don't think many people have concentration or focus because we're inundated with so much information on the internet that people don't want to sit down and read.
I'm like that myself.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, books were pre-aberrant, but not
right.
so much anymore.
Well, you were a book guy. You were very cerebral. You still are a cerebral man. So when you were younger, books were your internet, right? Because you didn't have the internet. Do you think if you were a young kid today, you'd be as addicted to the internet as like your great nephew Tyler? Like, would you be one of these kids like constantly scouring the internet?
Say that again.
So, like, when you were younger, right, you were very academic, you were very cerebral, and you still are. Now, you would use books, I imagine, as an outlet to escape reality, to learn new things of different places in the world. Where now we can simply do that, with our hands on the internet. Do you think if you were a kid today, do you think you'd be addicted to the internet, constantly watching the internet, like your great nephew Tyler, who's when he comes home, his face is always buried in his phone? Do you think if you were younger, the internet would have been your books?
Does that Taylor knows, or does it just play games?
He does a little bit of both, but he's watches content, Chinese content. Obviously, they control the internet here. But yeah, games. I mean, do you think you would have been? Yeah, do you think you would have been playing video games on the internet if you were a 10-year-old? No. See, I would have. I would have when I was that age, but now I have no interest in it.
No, I didn't then.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have them. I mean, Jay, when you were 10, what did you use? An abacus? Did you even have a calculator?
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, you didn't even have a calculator, right?
It was much harder to work with, and you had to know how to use them and DOS. I mean, now it's used.
I mean, yeah, how far? It's amazing. Your generation, you octogenarians, have really seen the exponential blow up of technology. You octogenarians.
Yeah, anybody, yourself as well.
Oh well, I grew up. I grew up with the internet. I remember I had that first Macintosh, that big computer, when I was Tyler's age,
Yeah.
right? And that was to me like a spaceship. We didn't know how to fucking use it, right? Like, yeah. So, I mean, who knows where all of this technology will go? It's about making it accessible, making it price accessible to the average person. That's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you have for dinner? It's already 8:30 your time. Do you remember what you ate for dinner? No? Okay.
I don't remember. I just finished something.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my schedule, once I get my jet lag over with. Shit. Once I get my jet lag over with, that first day, then I'll have breakfast at the hostel and do what I did over winter and just come see you, in the like early morning hours. I'll try to afford a coffee if I can for you. And then we'll just shoot the shit.
Sounds great.
All right. And then who knows,
Okay.
I know you don't. I mean, do you care about your sister, or you just don't give a shit? Be honest.
She's off. She's off.
She's off the reservation. So that's a little bit Native American, horrible Native American term, but she's off the reservation.
Well, I didn't use it. You figured it for me.
You know where I learned that from? Rini, your mother was a gem of those like kind of slight racist remarks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to get one of my friends who picked me up at the airport last winter, Stephen Fodiitis. I'm trying to have him. He's going to visit his elderly mother down in Clearwater. So I'm having maybe at the same time to see if we can FaceTime her. One last time to see how she's doing. Your sister.
Yeah, you can ask, but I think she's gone.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go now.
Yeah, I will. All right. I love you, man. We'll see. Yeah. Just tell me how you feel. If you want to hang up, hang up. All right. I love you, JB.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Take care, buddy. I love you. Bye bye. Take care. Such a fucking Buddhist.